Hello, and welcome back to the Student Organization Summer Success Series. Today, we're going to talk about digital meetings, how to create a fun and meaningful time together. I am Gwen Fox Stump. I'm the Associate Director for Student Life in the Center for Student Involvement. Thank you for joining us for this next video. Please feel free and visit our YouTube page to review the previous videos that have been posted. So why are we still meeting? It's really to foster belonging to your organization and to UD. Student groups allow for an engagement space outside of the classroom. The main goal here, and the main suggestion we have, is to keep meeting. Active participation is the best way to make your members and potential new members feel like they're a part of your organization. Let's think about your fall semester plans. Are you planning to have all of your meetings virtual? Have some in person and some virtual? Having all of your meetings in person is most likely not going to be possible. I know you all feel like you're treading water until you arrive on campus, but now is the time to plan. You can fill out the request for in-person meetings starting on August 1st in 1850. It'll be on that top bar up at the top where the financial request form is. You need to build some time for team building into every single meeting that you're doing. All of us need interaction with other people. Try and make it more than just a one-word check-in. Think of questions that will keep people engaged and keep people growing in their relationships with each other. If you go into breakout rooms, maybe have them come up with a mascot or a team name. This can let folks get to know each other better and find some commonalities. If you want to do something fun, how about an item hunt? It gets people up and moving and it gives them additional insight into their personalities. But please keep this appropriate. It's important to know your group. I know many of you are in multiple student organizations, and some are even in leadership positions in multiple organizations. What might work for one group, it might not work for another. Be willing to make changes as the semester goes on, and be willing to take feedback from your group members about what they're needing. Please plan ahead for your meetings. People know when they're in a Zoom meeting that hasn't been planned for. They'll know when you're winging it. Put some time into planning for your meetings and they'll be more successful. I know we all get very tired of staring at all of our friends in tiny little squares on the computer screen. Is there any work that you can send out to individuals or your entire membership ahead of your meeting so that that work can already be done and then you can just have a discussion about it? That way you can get some of the tasky things of the meeting out of the way and you can move on to strengthening your membership during your meeting. A few things to think about during the meeting. How are you making sure that a lot of voices are being heard? Don't let the president or whoever is in charge of the topic of the meeting be the only dominating voice in the meeting. You want to focus on dialogue and conversation. Focus less on reporting out. That can happen in an email so that it can already be in the agenda when the meeting starts. Organic conversations are going to happen less, and that's why an agenda is so important. You have to be focused on what your purpose is. It's hard to know who to call on. So is there someone that you can assign to be in charge of that when a conversation is happening? Is the leader of the meeting calling on people? Are you asking people to put a thumbs up when they agree with something? Are you asking people after they speak to call on the next person? Do you want to have people type their name in the chat when they have something to say? Don't leave it up to chance. You'll miss people and they'll feel that their voice isn't being heard, and maybe next time they won't even try. We wanted to share some Zoom tips and tricks with you. If you find yourself focusing only on your own picture when you're looking at the squares of the membership of your group, turn your self view off and then you can focus on the other people a little bit better. If you're going to use breakout rooms for committee meetings or small group discussion, build those lists ahead of time so that your group doesn't have to wait for you to do that. Make sure you're giving the 2-minute or 30-second warnings for when those breakout groups will end so that people can wrap up their conversations. If you're going to be showing a video, make sure you're sharing your computer sound. Be careful when you're playing music through Spotify, either before a meeting or during a brainstorming session. Sometimes their volume levels are very inconsistent. Use a variety of engagement tools. You can do polls, you can do Kahoot, and you can do Poll Everywhere on Zoom. This will help keep up the engagement of your membership. If you screen share the whole time, you aren't able to look at each other's faces. It takes away some engagement. Let people put up digital backgrounds. Make sure they're putting up their display name, especially at the beginning of the semester, so that people know who's talking. Assign someone to monitor the chat section if you're presenting and you are screen sharing. That way they can catch any questions that you might not see. Zoom fatigue can be real. You may have been coming from a day full of classes on Zoom or from other group meetings on Zoom. Know that there's a 1.2-second delay from when you say something to when the group hears it. If you're not getting that immediate reaction from them, that might tell your brain that someone isn't as interested in what you're saying. But that's not true. It's just the format that we're talking in. You have to be prepared for that. We recommend your meetings should be shorter and less frequent. This doesn't mean you have to be doing less things. It just means you need to be more creative about how you are doing things. You are the experienced ones here. What has or has not worked for you in the past? Think back to your classes and your other virtual experiences since last March. What did you like? What annoyed you? What mistakes do people keep repeating? And what can you do or change for how you run and participate meetings in the future to make it a better experience for everyone? Think about your group and make sure that everyone is able to participate. You can pay for closed captioning through Zoom, or you can assign a member of your group to do the captioning in the chat section. Please rotate this person. Your secretary needs to be doing other things during all the meetings. Google Slides also offers free and fairly reliable live closed captioning. The only downside seems to be that you have to be doing a slideshow so people will see less of your other members' faces. The link is here on how to do that. And 2 tips if you're running a conference with this feature: it only works if you're presenting in Chrome, and if you have headphones in, it will only caption you. But if you're using your speakers on your computer, it will pick up everyone in the captioning. Thank you so much for spending the last few minutes with us. We have one more video of this series and it's about recruitment, so stay tuned for that. If you'd like to continue this conversation or if you have any suggestions for additional videos that you'd like to see, please reach out. My email and the Student Org general email are both below. Thank you and have a great day.